Hello there, it's Alexa, founder of Wishbeads, head wisher here at Wishbeads, and this is the Wishbeads podcast. I'm so excited you're listening. Today I have an incredibly special guest, Meaghan Murphy, executive editor of Good Housekeeping, media personality, author of her upcoming book, which you're going to hear about, and all around incredible person. She's just amazing. Anyway, I cannot wait for you to hear our conversation. She is a true kindred spirit and actually a highlight of my recent trip to New York City. I was there for the New York Now gift show. And you know what? It's just a great reminder of how important our stores are. Friends, please, let's not take this for granted. Shop local. Check out your stores. Delight in all of the beautiful things they've curated for you, the amazing gifts, the conversations that are had there. Honestly, I grew up in retail. My mom had a maternity store, a few maternity stores, first called Lady Madonna and then called Now Showing. And I literally grew up in the store, like fitting nursing bras at a really young age, which was, I'm sure, a little bit weird, but kind of fun. And I always loved retail. I loved meeting people. I loved merchandising. I remember doing inventory counts. And I think in this fast growing age, we're taking for granted that our small stores could really truly go away because people are so accustomed to online shopping. So of course, yes, I have an online store, but I also very much absolutely love the stores that carry Wishbeads. So FYI, if you have a fabulous store in your community that's not carrying Wishbeads, oh my God, let us know. We'll make a little introduction, or maybe you can make an introduction on our behalf. They can reach out to us or just shoot us an email of the name of the store and where it's located to hello@wishbeads.com. We'd love to meet them. Anyway, love our stores, and I encourage you to shop local. So great. I also think it's fun to be in New York just to capture the energy, you know? I live in Southern California, and there is something so fun of getting in a different climate, getting in a different pace, experiencing the sights, the colors, the people, the energy. I just love it. And one of my absolutely favorite things to do, if you haven't done this in New York City, is to walk the High Line. If you don't know, the High Line is a converted elevated train, subway train, in New York City that weaves its way above the streets, in between the buildings, and they've converted it into this amazing park. Not a park like for kids with structures, but just kind of a narrow thing with beautiful plantings and incredible art installations. And whenever I'm in New York, I make a point to stay somewhere near the High Line so I can walk to the Javits Center and take it all in, and I absolutely love it. Such a highlight. And I got to bring my hubby with me this time. So it sort of felt like a vacation, kind of a vacation that I was working my tail off during the day, but then we'd hang out at night. It was fun. So I highly recommend the High Line if you get there. You know, the other thing that I wanted to mention to you, fine, fabulous folks, is that we are launching this podcast on Valentine's Day. And I hope that today, this day of love, you're going to show yourself some love. Just do something nice for yourself, you know? Just treat yourself to, I just recently did a post about fika. If you haven't heard of fika, it's so awesome. It's a Swedish tradition of having a little something warm to drink in the afternoon, combined with a little something sweet to eat and some great conversation. I have totally taken this on in my own life, and I look forward to my little fika experience in the afternoon. It's so awesome. So whether I'm having fika with the kids when they get home from school or fika with a friend, sometimes you just gotta have fika by yourself, and that's okay too. But I just love this. It's just like a break. I think in America we used to have like smoke breaks. I'm not a smoker, but I think we can switch that habit, that ritual, to something a little healthier. And I think like a little something sweet, that's okay too. It's all about balance. So without further ado, my friends, I love that we're doing the podcast with Meaghan on Valentine's Day, because truthfully, she just exudes love. She has got so much love for people, love for what she shares, love for the products that she just kind of falls in love with, and she's just an amazing person. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy my conversation with Meaghan B. Murphy, the one and only. I am so honored today because here I am with you in the Hearst building in the amazing Good Housekeeping headquarters of awesomeness with Meaghan Murphy, who you are a living spark plug, girl.
Oh, geez.
If you don't know Meaghan's work, she's an executive editor at Good Housekeeping, making TV appearances all the time, and you're authoring a book, The Fully Charged Life, which is due to come out in 2021. I am so delighted our paths crossed. So thank you for sharing your time with us today.
Because the only reason I'm writing a book is because of you, because I manifested in my bracelet. You know that, right?
Well, I actually want to hear the full story because I heard inklings, and I did hear a podcast where you talked about it, which I was like, what? Because we connected through Christina, and then you just, you're someone who just runs with something, and I so love that about you.
Well, if I like it, I can't control myself. The downside of that is if I don't like something, I also can't control myself because I'll just go blank. I look like I saw a ghost because I won't say anything negative, but I won't say anything great. So people are sometimes like, "You were so mean." I'm like, "I said or did nothing." They were just looking. They were looking for the excitement, and I can't fake it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so your bracelet landed on my desk, and I was like, I was in a place in my life where I was not quite brave enough to say out loud what I wanted. And what I wanted was to write a book. People have always said to me, like, I wish I could bottle your energy. I wish I could bottle your energy. And like, I couldn't actually bottle my energy, but I kind of realized I could write about it. Like I could share the secret sauce.
Sure.
And they always say that in life, whatever it is that people ask of you, like that's what you need to do. Like,
what great advice.
Right?
That is such a good thing. Oftentimes I hear people don't know what to wish for. And that is a great filter for people to say, well, what are people saying back to you? Like, oh, you're so good at this. Or I wish I could cook like you. Or I wish I could garden like you. Or
that's so. And then I think like, then your responsibility is to do more of that or to give more of that back to the universe.
Right.
So for me, I'm like, oh crap, like I need to leave a legacy of positive energy. I cannot like let everyone tap into my vein and like suck me dry.
Right.
But shoot, I can absolutely write about this. So I wrote on a little scroll. Are you allowed to say, does it still come? Well, it already came true, so it's good. It's okay.
Yeah, saying it I actually think is part of the power.
Part of the power. Okay. Yeah. So I wrote on the little scroll, like, I want to write a book called The Fully Charged Life, and I want it to be a New York Times bestseller. Like, I didn't even hold back.
Yes,
and
if you're going to wish
up,
big.
And I put it in my little scroll, and I just started wearing it. And for some, like, I really believe in manifesting things because just wearing it on my arm and having had the courage to say it out loud made me start to take steps to make it happen.
Of course.
Like the next thing I know, I started meeting with literary agents and I had a couple of breakfasts and I took a couple of meetings. And then I really connected with my now agent, Laura Nolan at Avitas. And we cried over breakfast and I started writing these essays to her to prove that I had a book in me. And she was like, I believe in you. I'm going to sign you. And for a year, I kind of worked on developing what the book was going to be, working on this outline with her, this 70-page treatment with sample chapters and competitive analysis, and really just working through what the book was. And then we took it out for 2 weeks. So what happens is it goes out to publishers for 2 weeks of shopping. You take meetings, and then it goes to auction. And you either sell a book or you don't. So that, like, the day it went to auction, I was very grateful. We were lucky enough to get a bunch of meetings. Had all of these meetings. I knew that I wanted Penguin Random House because I wasn't even cool in the meeting. As we were leaving, I'm like, I just want you to know I really like it here and I would love to write a book for you. And I'm like leaving and my agent's like, yeah, that was really cool, Meg. You really played it cool there. And I was like,
in an auction, they're supposed to play a little bit hard to get.
Yeah, there's no hard to get with me. I don't have a poker face. So I like put it all out there.
Yes.
And then the book went to auction and was grateful and lucky enough to get multiple offers, Penguin being one of them, and was lucky enough to be able to choose that offer. And so I signed with them to write The Fully Charged Life, which is essentially a radically simple guide to having endless energy and finding the yang in every day. It's due in April, so I wake up at the 4 o'clock in the morning and scribble. And I'm constantly taking notes and being inspired and writing. And I think of you because I really had to be brave enough to say I want to write a book. I mean, I've been a magazine editor for 25 years. I've been on TV. I do all the things, but I wasn't brave enough to really own the fact that I want this legacy of positive energy, and the best way for me to do that is to write this book.
Oh, I'm so, like, I actually have chills. I'm so honored. And just for those of you who also don't know, you're a mom of 3 young kids.
Yes, Team Murphy.
Team Murphy. And, you know, the way that you live your life, the way that you prioritize family and experiences with your family, and the way that you continue to show up as an executive editor, it is so astonishing. And I just want to highlight a little bit of your story, even before the commitment to sharing the yay and stepping into your dreams, which was... Sometimes what people respond to me is I've always been a very positive person. But what I think is also quite amazing about your own journey is that you haven't always been such a positive person.
No, I love talking about this because I think it's so funny. Like, my nickname growing up was Grumpy. I was a rain cloud. I wore a necklace that was Grumpy from the 7 Dwarfs. My sister had Happy and I had Grumpy. And I was negative. Like, my mom would joke, like, she was like, we're going to go to Disney World. I'm like, why would that be fun? There's probably going to be lines. It's probably going to be hot. I don't want to do that. And my little son now, I laugh because he is kind of that same inherent disposition. The teacher was like, yeah, we were going to play Simon Says. And he was like, why would that be fun? Why would I want to play Simon Says?
So
like
interesting.
And so like, and weirdly, I mean, in life, right, negative is the default. Like, that's our primal response. It's a survival mechanism. It's
and if you look
easy to
online,
find the bad.
if you look in media, I mean, a lot of times that's what you're taught to be.
100%. Like, so, I mean, I've been reprogramming and retraining my brain for the past 30, 40 years. I'm 44. So I've probably been working on this actively for 20 years. And I always give credit. I wrote an article for Cosmopolitan magazine back in the day called The 7 Secrets of Happiness, which was really the first time in doing that research and talking to these PhDs and writing this story where I'm like, oh, wait, happiness is something you could actually choose. It's a choice. It's not like, you don't have to be who you are. You can choose to step outside of yourself. It didn't click. It wasn't like, okay, and now I wrote this article and everything is magically fixed. But it did start to awaken me to the fact that I was actually in control of my disposition.
Which I love.
Right?
I love. And the thing is that once you see the possibility, it's like you're exercising a muscle. And that muscle that you're going back to over and over again when you have the actual experience, which I know your readers will experience with the tips that you're going to give in your book, same with Wishwork, this idea that if you experience the magic just a little bit, it's totally addictive. And then you're building that muscle, and then it becomes who you are and how you live your life, which then doesn't just serve you, it literally touches everyone you come into contact with. And I think that so many people can stay in that skepticism, but if they just can taste that experience, and one thing I have to highlight about you is that please follow Meaghan Murphy on Instagram, because if you want that lightning bolt, that dose of electrically charged energy, you put that in your posts. It's so beautiful. It really is.
I don't mean to. It's literally how I live now, which is kind of, and I also, so the yay list was something, and I hope everyone steals this activity because it really changed me. And my dad was dying of pancreatic cancer. I had 3 kids to take care of, and I was like, crap, this sucks. I want to crawl in a hole and die, and that's not a choice. So what do I do? And that was really, I created this thing called Operation Good Grief, which was an exercise every day to find one good thing and to dwell on it, to take a picture of it, to post it on Instagram, to write about it, to own it. One good thing. Because I'm like, if I can find one good thing in every day and let that dominate, I'm going to be okay. And so my dad's been gone 4 years now. For 2 years, it was like hardcore Operation Good Grief, where every day I'm like, okay, there's daffodils at the end of my walk. I'm going to get excited about those daffodils. They weren't there yesterday. They just bloomed. This is awesome. I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to post it. Operation Good Grief. Oh my gosh, somebody drew a heart in my foam on my latte. That's amazing. I'm going to focus on that today.
So simple and so powerful.
Simple. And it was anything. I mean, it could have been my son learning to wink. And I made this video called Winky. And he was like learning to wink. And that was the thing that day. I called it highlights with my kids, not Operation Good Grief. They had to tell me the best thing that happened all day. And they were little at the time. And they're like, I liked it when I did everything, Mom. But I was training them to look for the good.
Was there an epiphany? What was the moment for you when you decided this is my ticket to health and happiness?
I mean, I just started to feel better, and I started to see the good more easily.
Right, because it's a habit.
That's the problem.
It's a muscle.
When like if you want to live in a bad place, it's easy to be there. But I found that every single day that I was looking and I was seeking and I was actively chasing that good, it started finding me.
Yeah.
I wasn't working so hard. I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. And that's awesome. And that's awesome. Oh my gosh, I can only pick one thing today. And really, as I began to move through my grief and process my grief, and I still miss my father every day of my life, but I learned to be okay, and I learned to see the good, and I learned to not feel sorry for myself, but to get excited about life again.
Right.
And that's when it sort of morphed into the yay list. I didn't want to talk about grief anymore. I didn't want to be the poster child for grief. I wanted to talk about yay. And so I started asking myself, what made you say yay today? And I started creating yay lists, and it was like 3 things that made me say yay, 5 things. I'm like, sometimes I got to edit myself because I'm so yayed and so jazzed about everything. Yeah. And I created a standalone Instagram called The Yay List, where I celebrate yay humans who have done something really neat. And it could be anything from a 93-year-old woman I met trick-or-treating who says the secret to life is finding what you're good at and having a skill and sharing it. She still knits every day, or a trainer who felt so passionately about his mantra, no bad days, that he had t-shirts made for everybody. Small things.
Little things that just make things awesome.
It's like that small can make a big difference.
Right.
Big time.
Right. I have a question, because you live in such a positive place. How do you handle the skeptics? Because we've talked about how there's negativity
People
everywhere.
Hate me. I think it's so funny.
So what are your tactics to kind of deflect that energy or not let it bring you down?
Yeah.
What do you do on a daily basis?
I have haters, which always makes me sad. But what I always say to myself is, it's not about me, it's about them.
Sure.
And I just look at, wow, what crappy thing must they be going through
Sure.
to hate on me, right? Because I know I'm a good person. I know I generate positive energy. I know that positive energy is contagious. There's nothing I do in life that's bad. So if you hate me, you hate yourself.
Right.
I might not be your cup of tea, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But I've done nothing to earn your hate. Yes. I say to my kids all the time, and we live with this bumper sticker, there's no room for hate in our hearts. Right. You can dislike anything. Just don't spend time there. Like, I'm never going to actively be like, I hate that. I dislike that. Why would I waste my time? That's taking time away from something good I could be celebrating.
Right.
Something happy I could be getting excited about.
Right. So was there a pivotal moment for you when you really shifted gears, aside from your father's passing, that you went from this grumpy, like it's almost like you took the glasses of gloom off your face, put on the rose-colored glasses? Do you remember some aha moment that there was that pivotal shift?
No, and I don't think that happens for people. It is like, I mean, my arms are jacked, my shoulders are cut. That didn't happen because I went to the gym twice.
Oh,
right?
I love that. Oh my God. Can we I love that so much, Meaghan, that you just highlighted that.
I got to take a note because I won't remember
it's recorded.
I said it.
No, it's good. It's a recording. We'll give you the recording. But what I love about that is that people have to understand that there is no magic pill. There is no shortcut. No. You have to put in the work. You have to put in the effort, even when you don't believe it. Exactly. You have to try it.
Exactly.
Even when you don't believe it, you have to suspend that judgment. Forget the naysayers. Just go for it a little bit and see for yourself.
Well, and I say, I train my brain the way I trained my body. The whole first chapter of The Fully Charged Life is called The Positive Charge. I look at all the different aspects of your life as charges. It starts with the positive charge. How do you retrain your brain to be more optimistic? It is training. You have to do the work.
Correct.
And the neat part is, if you do the work, you get to live in La La Land in the best way possible.
Yep.
I am happy. Crappy stuff happens to me, and I'm still okay.
Oh, amen.
Right?
Amen.
Yep.
And what do you find when you've obviously been in the space doing the research, what do you find are the things that are draining people's charge? Like, for the most part, are there common things that you find?
A lack of gratitude. There is nothing more important in the world than living with an attitude of gratitude.
Yeah.
When you appreciate people, when you appreciate things, when you appreciate circumstances, you will be physiologically happier. I just finished an article for Women's Health where I talk about the power of yay and the power of gratitude. Your brain chemicals shift when you are actively appreciative of the things you have.
Including the obstacles.
Exactly. The oxygen and the chemicals are diverted to the pleasure centers of your brain when you are thinking appreciative thoughts. So the self-criticism, the rumination, there's just simply no bandwidth chemically in your brain to go there.
Right. And it's your choice.
Everything starts with gratitude. I mean, I'm so grateful that I can actually even look at my father's death with gratitude. He had cancer. I got to try on the idea of losing him. I got to ask him what his legacy would be. He didn't die in a car crash. I had time to say goodbye. And I can be grateful for that. I can. And I will be in a much more peaceful, happy place by virtue of the fact that I have this attitude of gratitude and I approach everything as I get to do this, not I have to do that.
I am so happy that, well, one, that we're connected, but two, I'm just happy that you are in the world doing this important work.
Thank you.
Because sometimes I do feel a little bit like this cheerleader on an island when you're surrounded by, you know, a lot of people putting their energy other places. Sure. So you're out there saying like, hey, you know, Wish, you can do this. You can live an intentional life. You can make things happen in your life. And, you know, get some eye rolls or some naysayers, but it doesn't matter. You're still going. Yeah. And I'm so delighted that you're going to be giving people this manual. You're already living it as an example. You can see that on the Yay list. You can see that on your Instagram. And now that there's going to be a book, and I'm going to, dare I say, a movement.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Really, no, I honestly, there's some movement making here. And the reason why is because people can realize if you want to change your world, you have to change yourself in the world. It has to start with you. And that's actually the only place you can do it.
Well, and I think the really neat part of all of this is that it's nobody is broken and nobody really needs to be fixed. This is all simple. It's really, really simple. Like if you could just change one of your haves to gets today, it's going to be more awesome. Right? Like I have to feed the kids and I have to give them a bath and I have to put them to bed. I get to bathe the kids. I get to feed them dinner and I get to tuck them in tonight. I get to do that. Right. Yes, being a mom is hard work and all the things, but if you just flip that small switch and think about what would be, you get to do this. I don't have to go to the gym. I get to go to the gym
and work out. Yeah.
People ask me why I'm bopping around and smiling because I get to be here. It means I'm healthy enough to be here. Right. It means I have a husband who's watching the kids so I can be here at 5 o'clock in the morning. Look at all, there's so many pluses for getting to do this versus having to do it.
Yeah. It's such a positive and such an important perspective.
And again, I'm not like Lady Gaga style. I wasn't born this way. Nope. Yeah. I was not born this way. So that's the hope. It's like we can all make these shifts to live in the world in a much happier way because tomorrow isn't promised, right? So I can be miserable or I can really, really choose happy.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom on the podcast.
Thank you for helping me manifest my dream.
I love that.
I will always give you credit. You're going to be in the foreword of my book. You made me brave enough to be able to write this book and sell it and make me get paid for it because if I didn't get paid for it, I couldn't write it.
I love it. And I thank you for showing up at 4 o'clock in the morning to write those beautiful words. It is effort. It is commitment.
I really think we can do this together and make change.
Yes, I agree. And I think anyone listening to this, if you're feeling the energy like I'm feeling the energy right now recording it, just let that be that little drop of inspiration wherever you are to do a little tiny lightning bolt, boom, into your heart, awakening you to what's possible so you stay inspired to take action because anything is possible if you just choose to make it so.
Yay!
Yay! And on that we can say, yay! All right, stay amazing. Thank you so much. What a pleasure.